Welcome back. We talked about the three types of leaders. We talked about the born leader. Who is the born leader?
A born leader is very charismatic. Or a born leader is the type of person who can command people. He have whatever to make people love him, love the way he is. I've seen a lot of them. You know, they have a big influence. That is the biggest thing. They have nice words, great words, very eloquent. You get it? That is a born leader. And you can see many born leaders. You can just identify them from childhood. You get it? Like when we were young, I saw a lot of classes I would go where there are people like myself sometimes where you see that people are always following us. When the teacher is not in the class, people always come to sit around us, want to hear from us, want to something. Wherever we go to a place and they want someone to speak, we are spokesmen. Not anyone elected us, but we were elected by the people automatically. You get it? So all those things makes a born leader. And when you grow with it, you realize that you have that kind of influence to command people to follow you. But Apostle says something which I very like it. You know, he said a leader need a vision. The truth about life is that many people walking around don't have a vision. And so they don't want to follow someone without a vision. They want to follow somebody with a vision. And born leaders many a time have a vision. They say we are going somewhere. But like I said, the problem with many born leaders or called men of God is the lack of knowledge. You want to go somewhere, you must study about where I'm going. You must increase the knowledge about where I'm going. You get it? So a born leader is someone who automatically is able to command people, motivate people, move people.
Actually, we've seen that in churches and even in the political arena.
Everywhere.
Someone who just speaks and everyone goes crazy. People are willing to die for you. I've never met you, but I'm willing to take a few, kicks on my back for you because I'm so possessed by your charisma.
Exactly.
And to add to that, a born leader will make you do what he wants to be done, but you are doing it because you love and you want to do it.
That is wonderful. That's wonderful. A born leader want to move people to do. You can see people. There is a man of God I grew up with, and believe me, he can let you go crazy. You want to die. You don't care about your life. Just to make sure you finish that task. He can motivate you, give you can do it. You'll be nothing. Look at yourself. You can even go and bring mirror in his own room and come and show. Look at yourself. Who do you see? That's you. You are going there. You can get there. He can move you to get there. That is a born leader.
So that is something that God gives them.
It is something they were born with it. God gave it to them from the beginning. It is the same with the called man of God. You see, he has something that everybody can attest to it that this is a man of God.
There's something about that.
You can challenge about that.
Yes.
So that is a born leader. He is gifted.
Yes.
That is the word we use, charismatic. The Greek word for gift is charis, charismatic. So both secular and also spiritual. That is, we have called men of God and we have born leaders, people who were born. And most of the born leaders in the secular world also becomes men of God sometimes.
Yes.
God calls them.
So just to be clear, so if you see a leader who's maybe not in church and they're able to lead, it means they were born with a specific gifting in the area of leadership.
You mean when the leader is not in church?
Yes, but he's able to lead.
That's right.
Yes.
You see,
say someone in a corporate world, say someone in a music world. The moment they just start to sing, everyone goes crazy. They can move you. It's still God-given.
Exactly.
It just depends where you want to use your gifts.
He's a born leader. He's a born leader. He used the word, and that is true. A true manager is the one who works himself out of business. You get it? One of the gifts of the born leader is happy to work himself out, sit somewhere and see people doing it. You get it? And you see people climbing to the where he has been. And that is where I still come to the knowledge. When you have not gotten to a certain knowledge, you come to a place your leadership is limited, no matter how gifted you are.
Let's talk about we talked about 3 leaders. There's the born leader, and I like what you
imposed
added.
leader.
You added about the born leader. Then there's the self-imposed. Then we have the ones that we train them ourselves.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have the second leader, that is, I call it the called by the called, or trained by the born leader.
Okay.
You understand? That's right. They have been
so
trained.
now this born leader maybe acquires education or knowledge.
That's right. So the trained leader or the called by the call leader, he is very close to his master, or he's very close to the born leader.
Let's giving an example probably of
Exactly. You get it? So he gets everything that his leader was teaching him.
Yes.
He gets it.
Is it an Elijah situation?
Elisha, Moses, Joshua, Jesus, and the disciples.
Yes.
You know, it's always there. You train them, but the truth about some of those trained leaders is that there are some of them who are also born leaders, but their temperament push them behind. But it takes the born leader to be able to pick them up. So the born leader or the called man of God is able to notify. They are like coaches. They can easily identify this man has a leadership skills. This man can do this. This man can do this. You know, but the problem with the trained ones is that sometimes they just also stay what they have already learned. They don't go beyond themselves. But this is the truth. If I have a temperament and you don't have the same temperament, it means though you are learning from me, but you can do also something different from what I am doing. So it takes if only you can immerse yourself in a certain level of knowledge, then you'll be able to do something
in different
different
dimensions.
That's right.
Right, Apostle Ayite, you agree to that?
Perfectly. You see, when you are not taught to remain at one place, when Jesus told the disciples, wait, when the Holy Spirit is come upon you, you shall be my witnesses here in Jerusalem, in Samaria, and in the outermost part of the world. So you become a leader to go beyond your reach. And I say something, if you are a great leader, you must stretch beyond your limitation. There is nothing like limitation when it comes to a great leader. So when you are called by the call, or you are trained by the born leader, does not mean you just operate in the parentheses of what you have been taught. You see, knowledge is dynamic, and the seasons are also dynamic. So with every season requires different knowledge. So you have been trained in a certain era and you are in another season, so you open up yourself to knowledge, like Daddy said, to open yourself up to knowledge, and that will carry you to do beyond or go beyond where you have been trained. So you will not be parochially minded, you will not be narrow-minded, you will be broad, you will not be a novice. You are now know about this. Before I ventured, I was somebody who always want to be laid back. But my mother told me one day, he said, my son, you are not a foolish person. You are a wise person. You are a great person. I never thought of myself. So my mother spoke that to me, and it quickened something inside of me. So not knowing I have it, until somebody trains you, you might not know what you have. Does not mean where you have been trained, remain there. You must go beyond where you are. And when we saw it in Elisha and Elijah, and per scripture, we saw the things that Elisha did, and we saw the things that Elijah did. So we should understand that wherever you are trained, you must be able to go beyond that parenthesis on that bracket.
And in the same context, we also see Gehazi. So who trains you? How are you trained? Do you take your lessons? How do you take your lessons? We see a very perfect example of Elijah and Elisha, and we see an imperfect, allow me to use that word, an unfortunate situation of Elisha and Gehazi.
Sure.
And now we're able to see two leaders training two people, different results.
Yeah, seriously, it happens in Africa a lot. When we see the Pan-Africanism movement, let me talk a little bit about politics. We saw the people who brought independence across the continent of Africa. You saw their charisma. You saw the things they were fighting for.
Yes.
But along the line, the people they trained lost focus.
Yes.
So we can put it in the context of Elisha and Gehazi.
Yes.
They have lost focus. Now they are putting us into neo-colonialism. We've lost our colonial masters. We have gained independence through the born leaders, people like Kwame Nkrumah and co. They brought us independence in Ghana.
Yes, kindly hold your breath. We need to talk about people like Kenyatta.
People like Kenyatta, they brought independence to Kenya.
Yes.
But after they get off the scene, the people who learned from them, the people they groomed, the people who took over from them could not do what they were doing or could not achieve the visions they had. Somebody like Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, 50 years before, when he was the prime minister, when he became the head of Ghana, he built a stretch of road. It is called the Tema Motorway in Ghana. When he was building it, people were saying that, no, this is a waste of land, this is a waste of resources. But 50 years after he's dead, after he's gone, we still use those things.
Wow.
He built the Akosombo Dam that supplied electricity throughout the country of Ghana.
Wow.
And after he's dead, nobody has been able to build such a monumental effigy. Nobody has been able to build such a thing. So from that perspective, if you are trained, if you are a leader, you must be able to go beyond your times.
Yes.
You must be able to do things that go beyond yourself.
And that is very, very key, Dr. Simmons, that you should go beyond your time. And also, it also flips to the trained, the trainer and the trained. Then we should also speak to the persons who are being trained to be leaders. Because if you have the wrong spirit, don't get the vision right, you become a Gehazi, right?
Yeah, exactly. You see, the problem, you see, every leadership, the born, the train, and the impose, all of them have their problems. You see, the problem with the trained leaders, like Gehazi, you used rightly, he came to the scene not seeing what the master have gone through before becoming what he is today. You see, and that has been the problem with most of our trained leaders or leaders who came to take over from the first leaders. The first leaders are always successful, but they went through a lot.
They paid the price.
Exactly, they paid serious prices. And the ones who took over, they should have pushed their feet into their shoes to know what they have gone through so that they can do better than them. But they come rather to come and enjoy.
And even say, hey, how do you just ask someone to go bathe themselves, get healed, and you're not taking the gold? So they are more possessed with their belly than they are with becoming that which God desires them to become, than receiving the mantle.
Exactly, exactly. Let me, you see, look at somebody like Moses. Moses' vision was to bring the children of Israel from Egypt to the promised land. Now, they didn't get to the promised land. So it means there was still job to do for Joshua. And really, he has to also seek God. So you can realize that according to history, look at something. Moses, Joshua, Elijah, Elisha. Elijah and Moses and Joshua today, if we talk about it, Joshua did more than Moses. Because the vision is to take them to the promised land. And it was Joshua who achieved it. You see, Elijah and Elisha, when you read the Bible carefully, Elijah did 16 works. And Elisha did 31. And then the last one he did was when he died on the grave.
Bones resurrected.
That's right. So making 32, he asked for the double portion. It means Elisha also did more than Elijah. But on the Mount of Transfiguration, Elisha didn't appear, Joshua didn't appear. It was the fathers who appeared. It means the fathers did a good job. So when a father do a good job, the younger one may do better than the father. You understand?
But the reward of the father will not be underestimated.
Exactly. So when born leaders do well, their trained leaders will do well. But certain trained leaders will fail because of the perception they brought in there. And just like I said, most political leaders today come to the place not to see suffering. They don't see the villages. They don't see anywhere. They only saw their university. They only saw the cities they were living in. Some of them even came from very poor lineage, and by grace or by some favors, they were able to be educated. But as soon as they get there, they forget wherever they're coming from. And that forgetfulness is what makes them bad leaders. So bad leaders always come to the scene. Those trained leaders, or those who came to inherit the other leaders or successors, let me use that word, they become bad because of wrong perception.
Because of wrong perception. Who are you? What kind of leader are you? What do you intend to become as leaders? This is one of the greatest podcasts we've had. Of course, you've enjoyed, you've learned, it's educative. Oh my goodness, men of God, we need to have you again and again. Kindly make sure he doesn't go to Ghana soon. Now that aeroplanes, block road, block aeroplane, block everything, that we may have him on this podcast just to help us understand the power of true leadership and other topics. Thank you for watching. Same time, same station, same day next week. We'll be right here.